Hi, I'm B News producer Sydney Bowles, and we are here for another edition of Senior News with Council on Aging Director Marge Yetman. Marge, of course, is here with all the information on what's going on at the Senior Center. Marge, thank you so much for joining me.
Well, thanks for having me again.
So as always, there's lots going on. We're going to start from the top with a little bit of housekeeping maybe. It looks like you guys have a new newsletter format there at the Senior Center.
We do. And we had a couple of days to put it together. So it is not perfect. It is rough around the edges, and we apologize to everybody. When we went to the original format the first time, we had 3 or 4 months to kind of iron everything out, make it look perfect, and we had maybe 2 to 4 days this time around. We had gone online with the publishing, so they had offered us this opportunity to be able to do the whole thing online on their website, and then it was easy to kind of submit it to them, and it was there, and it was just a really nice way of doing it. And not enough people signed up to do it, and so they are going back to the old way of doing things, which means we're working on Publisher, and we were waiting for them to send us the template, and we didn't get the template, except for a few days before we had to get it in. So we were rushing. I spent a couple of days literally just deleting stuff out, putting our stuff in. They kind of gave us a template with gibberish in it, literally Greek. Excuse me. And so it's not perfect.
What's the goal? What's the intention with the newsletter?
The intention is, it's always been to kind of let people know what's happening at the Senior Center, and to let people know about important things that are happening. So even if you're 60, you should, and you're still working, you should still at least be glancing at it. We have information about Medicare and health insurance and scams. It's not just the activities that are happening at the Senior Center.
Okay, so it's stuff to just
it's really kind of
be aware of what's important for seniors, all that good stuff. Okay.
And it's become a lot more important with the riddance of our printed newspaper. So now it's really kind of my one way of getting news across to people that they need to know.
Okay.
It's not timely because we're working 6 weeks out sometimes, The newsletter has to go to the printer like the second week of the month, previous. So it's not completely timely, but it's better than nothing.
Sure. So folks can keep an eye out for an update to that.
Yes.
We got a couple of events coming up at the Senior Center that we're going to talk about.
Yes, we
Starting
do.
with kind of a heavy one.
Yeah.
There's going to be an overview or a dive into what's going on with Israel and Hamas. So talk about that.
So we have a gentleman who is a professor who is coming out through Therapy Gardens, which people are familiar with. They've done a lot for us. They've done some lighthearted stuff. They've done some heavier stuff. They've done some cooking, some tasting, and they've actually come out and done some Middle Eastern taste testing several months ago. And in December, we had scheduled Israeli folk dancing long before. We're always months out. And we tried to switch it from Israeli folk dancing to this, but the dance teacher had already been confirmed, so we had to hold off because we couldn't get a date with Therapy Gardens. So now we have this January date. This gentleman's going to come out and talk about it. And we're going to talk about the history behind it, right? Not everybody is angelic in this situation. There's been wrongs on both sides, and the history goes back to before Israel became its own state. So it's important, I think, for people to really know what the history is,
Yeah, it's the kind of thing that I think it can be tempting to think that maybe you know the basics and that's enough, or maybe to think, well, it's far away, it doesn't impact me. But it is the kind of thing that it's good to have a deeper understanding of what's going on. So if folks can check that out, they should. Do you have the date and time for that?
The date and time I do not have written down. It's in the newsletter.
We'll find it in the newsletter then.
Yes, we will. I think it's important to know too that Palestinians need to learn the Jewish Israel side of it, and the Jewish Israelites need to hear the Palestinian side of it. I think it's really important without understanding, there's no peace.
Yeah. Okay, a lighter note.
Yes.
We have an illusionist coming in.
We do. This is so exciting. And this is like the next day. So Isreal-Hamas, I think, is actually the second Tuesday of the month.
Okay.
I believe. And Lynn Dilly's Master Illusionist is the Wednesday after.
Okay.
So the second Wednesday.
Second Wednesday of the month.
Yes. Because we have the New Orleans Jazz Band the first Wednesday of every month, so that when we have months where the newsletter is late, everybody knows what's going on. So I'm going to just read her little piece of her bio here.
Yeah.
In 2013, she's the first female illusionist in history to receive the prestigious Milbourne Christopher Award from the Society of American Magicians. And this is like the Academy Award of Magic. So for anybody who actually knows what it is. David Copperfield, Penn and Taylor, and Siegfried and Roy have all won this award. And she also won the Merlin Award for Female Illusionist of the Year from the International Magician Society in 2009. So she is she's up there. She's a good illusionist.
That's a big get. That's exciting.
Yeah. I think as she's gotten older, she may have slowed things down a little bit. She's been in the industry for over 20 years. So I'm looking forward to seeing what she does for us.
Cool. So, as always, the Alzheimer's Caregiver Support Group is the second Wednesday of the new month.
Yes, and there's a little boo-boo because we didn't, we were rushing. It's not in the calendar. It is and there's like a little blurb in purple that said something about it sounds like it's every Wednesday. It is not every Wednesday. It is one Wednesday. It is the second Wednesday of the month and just once a month.
So talk about the value of having a support group for Alzheimer's caregivers.
It's huge. It is stressful. You are the spouse of your loved one, and all of a sudden you're caring for them. You may not be a spouse. You might be the daughter or the son or the grandchild. But you are a family member. You have a relationship with them, and then it, over time, turns itself on its head, and you become the caregiver, and you're not on equal footing anymore, or you are no longer the caregiver. You think about a daughter taking care of their mother. So to be able to talk to other people, to get ideas of how to manage certain situations, to know you're not the only one going through this, to kind of have an idea what could be coming. You want to be prepared. It can be scary to know what's coming, but it's also really important so you can manage it with the least amount of stress for yourself and for the person you're caring for.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. And the last thing we're going to talk about is an opportunity for some seniors to maybe get a little bit of fit here. So talk about the work-off program.
So the senior work-off program has been going on since before I came on board a couple of years ago. You can get up to $1,500 off your real estate taxes, which is great. If you don't work enough hours, you can get $100. You can get $1,000, however many hours you work, and it's minimum wage. So you need to be 60 or older, be the homeowner of your home. If you've put your home in a trust and your name is no longer on that home or in the trust, you can't do it.
Okay.
So you have to have your name. You need to be the owner. We've had a lot of people over the years say, well, the house is mine, but it's in a trust in my daughter's name. Well, you can't do it. It's,
Sure.
the legalities of it. You must occupy the home, so you can't be your family member living there instead of you. And your gross income must not exceed $45,000 for an individual or $55,000 for a two-person household.
Okay.
And then you can work in a lot of different departments. The COA town hall is always looking for people. Working on the census right now, so starting January 2nd, town hall needs folks. So you can do that. You don't have to work at the COA. And BCAT. Historically, we've always had several folks here working. So you can learn to do the cameras. You can do all sorts of things. You don't have to be doing it in town. So, and I know that BCAT because Jen told me so, needs volunteers again. During the pandemic, it stopped because we were doing things so differently, but we're in need of
So the idea
volunteers.
is folks can do a little bit of volunteer work, get some money off of their property taxes, contribute, get some, something to do maybe during the day, and save themselves some money. That's pretty cool.
Exactly. And it's
All
a good way to meet people too,
Yeah, totally.
People coming in and talking and
Get out and about.
seeing the world.
Yeah. Marge Yetman, COA Director, thank you so much for being here.
Well, thanks for having me.
This has been another senior update from BCAT, right to you.